Louisiana Beer Reviews, Milwaukee's Best Lager. This is the first video review for this beer in the world. I'm telling you right now, there's no page for this on Rate Beer, Beer Advocate. It says established in 1895. This is true. The Milwaukee's Best brand was established in 1895 by Gettleman Brewing, who was bought out by Miller in 1961. Okay, all right. But it was Milwaukee's Best premium beer, and that was run from 1895 till 1983. It was marginally popular around the Milwaukee area and some parts of the U.S. as a value brand, but Miller could see that there was really nothing being done with it. So in 1983, 84, okay, scratch 83, I'm thinking of Meisterbrow. 84, they reformulated Milwaukee's Best, repackaged it in this is the second can design, but a can design showing an old beer barrel, the beer delivery wagon with the horses pulling it in the beer barrels, and it says Milwaukee Brewery in the background. The eagle. The original labels were really attractive. This one is pretty nice. Now I remember when it came out in 1984. I had some friends in high school and they were major drinkers, and really they kind of developed alcoholism, unfortunately. But they liked it because it was cheap, and they were talking about, it's so bad, it's so bad. And I'm like, it's bad? I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know who made it, but I think they just weren't used to beer in general. And now he talks about how Milwaukee's Best Ice is his mainframe thing, and but he's kind of been caught up in a marijuana beer fog since around 1984, interestingly. But that's another story that can be used as a life lesson. But anyway, there is a video on YouTube from some guys around 1989 in college that made a Milwaukee's Best premium video review. And they must have saved it on VHS and converted it to YouTube because it's interesting. I mean, they're kind of like singing and dancing with it, but I was thinking, yeah, that was a major product. Milwaukee's Best Light, they sponsored the World Poker Tour for years. You probably remember the Milwaukee's Best Light commercials about be a man, don't let your girlfriend like dominate you. Those would not be shown today because of political correctness and feminism and all of that. But if you remember back in the 90s until the mid-2000s, they had those videos. That was basically the message. Don't be a wimp. I mean, what is your major malfunction? But then they had the Great Recession, so-called, in 2007, 8, 9, and all the advertising was stopped. All right. I did find out about this around 6 months ago. I saw the labels, and my jaw dropped. Let's check it out. It's the first time. And I was like, wow. And I saw a bunch of different label proposals. I got this information from Miller Brewing Company, which has become a wholly owned subsidiary of Molson-Coors as of October 11, 2016. You may know that. Beautiful new can design. It harkens back to the 1950s design with the Stein and the MB on it. That was the old Milwaukee's Best logo, the Stein with the MB. Okie doke. Let's move this paperweight. So these are all the ones I had since 96, 98 with the new Tiger Claw, and they even had the big billboards on U.S. Highway 61. Unleash the Beast, as the nickname Milwaukee's Beast. Then they revamped it around 2000 and 2005, I guess, with the being pulled out the ice, you know, down in the ice chest with all the ice bursting everywhere, and then the modern 2010 with Miller, of course, still on it. And then around 3 years ago they dropped, or 2 years ago, or even a year ago, they dropped Miller, which I found was curious. Although it says on the side Miller Brewing Company, and I said something's coming up. They wouldn't drop Miller off that. I said they're trying to make it its own identity, as almost its own thing. And now they come out with the new one. Always have the shield. You can see all the way back. It's always a shield. Even back to the 50s when it was Gettleman. Now it's got a gear, the working man. It's certified kosher. It says right there. With the union of, the U with the circle around it, Union of Rabbis. No additives of preservatives, brewed with pride across the U.S.A. But you see, it was 4.3% around this time. Now, I can remember back in the early days, it was like 4.6. 142 calories. That's not bad, y'all. So it's a sharp, new label. And it's a new beer. This is retired. Milwaukee's Best Premium has been retired. Even back to here, Milwaukee's Best Premium Beer. This is the new Milwaukee's Best Lager from 2016 and onward. So the 1984 to 2016 Milwaukee's Best Premium is gone. All right. Now I have even more shocking news. I got the 30 pack, I'm leaving Walmart. I gasped. I said no, 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 no. Miller Genuine Draft Cold Filtered Beer. I was stunned because this had exited our local market 4 years ago. For a long time, they only sold 24-pack suitcases of the cans. I said an 18-pack of bottles, and it's best by February 13, 2017. Got the date, guys. So I said, I cannot believe this. And I felt that when they had the buyout from, or I thought and felt that when they had the buyout from Molson-Coors, that things were going to change, that they were letting everything kind of like coast until the buyout. Well, it's understandable. Why spend money when you're not going to be in control and you don't know what the new people are going to do? But I think Molson-Coors said, you know, excuse my language, screw that. We are not going to sit on these legacy brands and do nothing with them. We are revitalizing these things to the hilt. I mean, you know, I'm waiting to see if the new website is up. It may be already. Miller Genuine Draft, when it came out in 1985, but really nationally in 86, it was, you know, Miller High Life Genuine Draft, but very quickly changed to Miller Genuine Draft. Too much of a name. Too long of a name. You might remember this if you're old enough. I'm 48, but if you're over, say, 38, you might remember that from around 1986 to around 1999, 2000, that was one of the major brands in America, like one of the heavy hitters, your Budweisers, your Miller Genuine Draft, or your MGD as people called it, your Coors Light. Major brand, sold everywhere and in every bar and restaurant. This is not a double down, but that's coming obviously. But and then they let it die like Schlitz. Yes, we could get 12 packs in New Orleans at some few stores for $9.99 a 12 pack, or $5.99 a 6-pack at Dorgnet's. But $12.80 for the 18-pack. Yes, you heard me right. $12.80 for the 18-pack. So I don't know. I think some big things are coming in the world of regular beer. Well, you didn't see much of a head of foam on this. This is a very wide brim LITE glass. I don't have a Miller Genuine Draft or Milwaukee's Best glass. I have the hoghead cheese. Okay, let's get into this. It appears to be yellow gold, bubbly, clear, your stereotypical American style lager beer. The aroma, it's standard, semi-sweet, grain, and nothing out of the ordinary, but very pleasant. Very pleasant. Now, Dave Coulter brought up a point. He said, he said, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but how can you give a credible beer review and you're eating food? I said, I'll go along with that point, but I think a beer like a lager, an American adjunct lager, or a Euro lager, they are like ultra pairable, ultra compatible with food. IPAs, I have less of something to back me up on that. Those are probably more better as standalones. Hefeweizens really don't pair well with food at all, in my opinion. They're too banana, too bubblegum, and it doesn't affect the appreciation of the beer, but I find it ruins the taste of the food. But I think these will complement each other. These have more of a symbiotic relationship, okay? very standard grains, an undercurrent of barley and probably the brewer's syrup, corn, dextrose, maltose. There's still nothing. I checked before I went to Walmart. There's nothing on the Milwaukee'S website about this beer. I think they're trying to wait until every bit of their back stock is gone for the previous lineup, and then they're going to really make a big effort on this. Because you're having concurrency right now. You've got the old and new right beside each other, like you had with Schlitz for about a year. The old and new right by each other. And make no mistake, Milwaukee's Best is still a major seller. But compared to 20 years ago, it's derelict. So, from my discussion with the distributors, it's a big time beer, but they were expressing disgust. Like, why did they let this fall apart? It should go back to what it was, which was big time. And I think it will now. Sweet, some cracker, like unsalted saltine crackers, you know, the unsalted ones, soda crackers. Hop bitterness, you know, the IBUs are probably 11 to 12. It has some. It's what Schaefer described as a round beer, a round beer. You look at the old YouTube, they're on YouTube, old television commercials from the late 50s. They talked about it, why they wanted to make a round beer. They talked about the use of hops and how you shouldn't be able to distinguish the malts and hops. It just should taste like it's totally combined, you know, amalgamated. Medium mouthfeel, an extremely crisp, refreshing, easygoing finish, but it's got a little more body, a little more character than it had with that 4.3. And honestly, when it was at 4.3, I would pass over it oftentimes because I wanted that 4.6, 4.9, or even 5% ABV. But now they admitted, I looked at the sales sheet, the in-house sales sheet, and it talked about that they felt like they really needed to up the ABV for this day and age's market. It may be much cheaper in your area. $17 even plus tax here for that 30-pack. Which in Louisiana is a very good deal. In Illinois it would be a very bad deal. Or Ohio. Maybe $12.99 there. I don't know. It varies. In California it might be $20 for that 30-pack. Nice little. We're going to focus on the word little. A nice little hop note. I would say on the Cyclops scale it's probably little white bread crust, like wholesome bread, Wonder Bread crust. Yeah, like 3 out of 5 sugar cubes. Bitterness units probably 1 out of 5 hop cones, honestly. But now the light is, they didn't change that recipe for the light. And that's their flagship for the line, but that's actually 2 out of 5 hop cones. Milwaukee's Best Light is a relatively hoppy light beer. Just fabulous. This beer is good. Is it a great value? Oh, I mean, why would you buy Rockdale Light for $10.26 for a 24-pack when you could buy this for $17 a 30-pack? You say, well, because I'm an alcoholic and I drink beer all day long and it's $10.26 and I don't care about the taste. Now that would be a good point, and that might be your world. But that's not my world. And for a legitimate value price item, I would call this a legitimate value price item. It's in the style, the American adjunct lager style. I think they're gonna, if they enter this in the Great American Beer Festival, we're looking at awards. I mean, for beer overall, you know, it's a B. It's good. It's not remarkable. But for the legacy beer style, it's an A. It's awesome. It's, I almost don't have words. When I got that alert 6 months ago, I said, this is going to be a serious issue. I mean, these people, they are doubling down, you know, to steal my own term, which I stole from ESPN. They're getting serious with it now. The Milwaukee's Best Ice, the new 6.9, the flavor is really fabulous, but the body's a little heavy, and you feel like you've eaten the beer rather than drink it. But I know some dedicated alcoholics, drunks, if you want to be more crude, they're going to love it. As they also pick up their little 200 milliliter bottle of Crystal Palace gin. London dry gin, of course. But, you know, hey, a great value-priced American-style adjunct lager, and I'm going to end this review by saying, Laissez les bon temps rouler. You nailed it, Miller, Molson-Coors, whatever you are right now. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to Louisiana.